Hey creators out there, this is DJ Kaufman. I thought it would be cool to show you how I'm approaching my new Webtoon series, drawing comics for the Webtoon series Secret Forces. By the way, real quick, check that out, secretforces.net. You can subscribe there or read it for free on the Line Webtoon app. Real fast about me, I've been drawing comics probably for over 20 years now in different formats. Traditional comics, published comics, web comics. I was one of the first group of people to put their comics on the web, old school web comics back when it wasn't cool to do that. But I've drawn in just about every format imaginable and just really have a passion for sequential art and storytelling. It's what I would probably do if I had nothing to do. So my new webcomic is called Secret Forces, and it's being drawn a little bit differently to the idea that I'm abandoning the page, 6 panels, 9 panels on a page. I'm abandoning that, throwing that out the window, because it's kind of like Scott McCloud wrote a few years ago about the infinite, well, maybe 10 or more years ago now. I'm old. But he wrote about the infinite canvas and the book Reinventing Comics. And it was really refreshing, but at the time that he wrote that, he was really ahead of his time. There wasn't really anything that you could do besides learning HTML and CSS to kind of scroll around the page, and people would experiment with it, but it never really caught on. The cool thing about Webtoons is it's probably the closest thing to that format with the scroll down format. I had experimented a little bit with the scroll down type comics before. A lot of people just stack their pages, and it's functional and it works, but it's not really designing it to the format. So with Webtoons, what I really wanted to do was design and just throw away the idea of, when I'm sketching out the actual story, throw out the idea of using a page. But before I get into that, a little bit about the methods and tools that I'm using. Everybody always asks, like, what tools are you using? What are you using to draw? Over the past few years, I've been making an effort to really scale down and just go all digital. I liked having a big office with a Cintiq and all this stuff and building that all up. But in the end, it really was appealing to me to just be able to set up my studio from anywhere. If I wanted to do it on the couch or at a friend's house or at a comic convention or anywhere I want to go, I could just have a studio at the ready and draw comics from anywhere. That's not for everybody, but personally, I love that idea. So my current setup right now is an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. I use the program Procreate as my main digital drawing tool. It's totally replaced Photoshop as my drawing tool. It can do just about everything that Photoshop can do as far as the actual rendering and drawing. If you want to know more about Procreate and how that works, there are some really cool drawing videos by Stafe Draws on. I'll link in the description for you. Totally full tutorials that show you just about everything, every little trick that Procreate can do. Then I have a MacBook, or you can use any laptop that can run a copy of Photoshop. I still use Photoshop mainly for my lettering and actually to slice up the panels. I'll show you a little bit more about that, about how I slice and format the panels for my Webtoon. So one of the big things that I see people doing when they come to Webtoon from traditional comics, they stick to the comic book page. They want to just stack their pages or cut them out. I was even guilty of that when I first came, because I didn't really know what to do and there was really no guide. So I would just cut things out and paste them in there and scan them down. But a few of the editors at shows from Webtoons told me, no, like you should actually make it, to work. But I've known a couple other artists that are using it to draw in both, like so that it fits both a book and the Webtoon format. But I'm not really interested in that. I just want to make a cool comic and just draw specifically for the Webtoon format and kind of release myself from the idea and the shackles of the page. I also have done books in the past, and I really, even though I like a comic book, to me it would be like, well, if I'm going to do a comic based on these characters, I would want it to be its own thing, not the same thing that ran online. I think that the comics that are online should be their own thing, and then have a book or something if it's popular and people really demand it. Otherwise, I don't really want to, I'm not really interested in having a book and worried about that, because I kind of feel like the Webtoon will come out better if you draw for the Webtoon format. Does that make sense? All right, so actually drawing and making the comic. I don't work from a script first. It's like the old school Marvel method that they would say, basically where an editor would tell Jack Kirby or somebody, hey, I want the Thing to fight Galactus, and then he would go away for a weekend and draw out the whole story and bring it back, and then the editors and writers would actually add the words. I've always kind of grown up on that method, and I really like it. But when you can develop characters in your own mind that actually have those voices and they're speaking to you, when you're thinking about your story, sometimes they can take you to some very surprising places, and it keeps it really fun for the creator. It doesn't seem like work. It seems like you're playing with toys. I often say that it feels like I'm a kid again, playing with those toys and making up stories for my friends just to entertain them. So I love that part. I just love that part. All that said, when I do finally have a set idea for a plot direction, I get right into sketching the visual story out, fleshing out thumbnails, whatever. I mean, in this format of abandoning the page and not worrying about that, panel 1, panel 2, panel 3 on page 6 or whatever, I can actually, sketch up something in a field notes, take a picture of it, pop it into Procreate later on. I could just sit down with the iPad, go right to a layer and sketch. There's multiple ways that I could approach this, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. If I'm at an event or stuck and waiting in a doctor's office, I can constantly be creating. So I really like that aspect of it. You can even use post-it notes, whatever you want, to kind of just lay out figures and poses and stuff like that. So with any comic book stories, you want to avoid just a lot of talking heads. Sometimes you have to do that to kind of further the narrative of the story and kind of get some meat on the bone there as far as the story goes. But avoid the talking heads. You always want to think in some really cool visuals. So what I do for every episode of my webtoon, I'm always thinking of those hero visuals, not like the cover of a comic book, but just something that could be like wow, that really. So there's a few talking heads, and then boom, you get a hero image. Or like when the webtoon first starts out, I want something that's really going to catch the reader's attention and make them scroll all the way through the comic and feel really connected. Like, whoa, that's badass that happened. And with my creative method, I think mixing that old school Marvel method with the new school webtoon type method, you can kind of engage with your readers more if you want. So recently in episode 3, at the very end, I left a cliffhanger saying, does Iris live or die? And you only had till September 1st to decide, and it was overwhelmingly that she lives. So I mean, it kind of makes me go, thank God there's good people that don't want to just see people murdered and killed. So that's fun. That's a really fun thing. But now I'm like, okay, how can I make her interestingly live? Right, so I'm working on that right now. I really like that engagement with the fans, and I've also started to do things like, maybe I can do more. Maybe I can offer like puzzles and clues and things like that, and offer challenges each week where whoever first to find this thing wins a secret package in the mail, that kind of cool thing. I don't think you can do that with a monthly comic book or really any other. I mean, even if you're working super far ahead, you can't really do that type of engagement with the readers, and it really keeps people active and engaged and excited for the next episode too. So I like that. I'm kind of just drawing the comic that I wish that I existed for me. So my personal process is, after I have that plot or loose story idea, I get right to it. I get in there, I sketch, ink, draw, color, everything in Procreate. Usually it takes me about 3 or so files worth of vertical chunks for each episode. Usually equals about the equivalent of 35 to 45 panels worth of comic art. So after the iPad step, and it's all colored and ready to go, I simply airdrop the file from my iPad in a PSD format, you could do that from Procreate, over to my MacBook. So over in Photoshop, I make a canvas size of about 800 by 20,000 pixels. Print cartoonists will probably say 800 pixels wide, that's never going to be able to print. But again, I don't really care. I'm not making a book. This is specifically for the web and specifically for mobile devices. That's where I want people to read my comics in this format, is on their iPhone. So 800 pixels wide is perfect, and it's what Webtoon actually suggests that you do. I then take the panels in from the other, I put side by side, and I cut out and I paste the art from the Procreate file over into my master file in Photoshop. I'll begin lettering that. Sometimes as I go, I space out and make sure that the pacing is good, and just kind of eye it up as I'm scrolling for a nice flow. The lettering can take a little bit of time just because you're kind of fleshing out the story, and that's the fun part where things might change a little bit from what you envision them saying in the sketch stage, but that's kind of a fun part. So this actually takes a good bit of time to get this all laid out and, apply graphic design to it as well. You want your borders and kind of, everything to look kind of nice and professional. This part can take some time. So after I get all that finished, and it's usually about, I'll have about 2 of these Photoshop files to slice up per episode. I then go and I use the slice tool in Photoshop to make slices down the page, which are no taller than 1280 because the Webtoon format allows you to upload chunks of 800 by 1280. So you never want to go over 1280. So sometimes you can do like a chunk of just like the panel box or cool visuals. I like to, my method is I like to slice it so that, hey, I might take this panel out and throw this on Instagram as a promo or something cool, right? After it's all sliced up and ready to go, I kind of trim it out, and then I hit save for web, and you can actually save each one of those individual slices automatically in one big chunk. It'll go into a file folder of your choice, and then you go over to your Webtoons dashboard, publish new episode, and you can drag and drop that whole chunk of art right on there. And of course you want to double check and make sure that it's a nice flow and you haven't messed that up somehow. But it's always worked fine for me. I then make my thumbnail graphic in Photoshop as well. I usually try to like pull like an interesting image just for that tiny little thumbnail. It's a small thumbnail, but it's something eye-catching that might make people go, what's this about? I also name the episode based on whatever's going on in that episode without spoilering it. One episode recently was called Sabotage because something happens to the machine. So something may have been sabotaged. So Sabotage was a kind of a cool title, and I also had Beastie Boys playing in my head when I was drawing that episode. And that's it, that's my process. I then publish that, start to see comments right away. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing too. And I'm on to the next one. I'm sketching out the next story and drawing more. So that's my approach to drawing in Webtoon, abandoning the comic book page, how I develop a story. If you find any of this helpful and you want to see more videos like this or little tips and tricks of what I'm doing with making my Webtoon, drop a comment below. And of course, go read my webcomic Secret Forces at secretforces.net, or find it on the Line Webtoon app, subscribe there, and comment inside the comic app too. The first 3 people from this video that go to my comic and make a comment that you came from the YouTube channel, I'll send you a secret package in the mail. See what I did there? Pretty cool. Hey, that's it. Back to the drawing board for me. I'll talk to you soon.